Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Fighting Couch Potatoes. I'm Liquid Gold Steve, and I'm here with Kadawfi Crush.
Let's go, bub.
And MattMatt.
Why?
We'll explain why later on, but we are talking about the critically acclaimed garbage anime, Wolverine.
How is it critically acclaimed and garbage?
I say critically acclaimed garbage anime.
That's not. No, I don't even think any critics have watched the show.
No, actually, I've looked up some of the critics, and they say like 70% likes the damn show.
They've never read a Wolverine comic before in their life. They've never seen a fucking X-Men movie in their life. Go ahead.
Probably.
The X-Men movies, in comparison to the comics, just like this show in comparison to the comics, fucking suck. Now with that said, with that out of the way,
oh God,
once you stop comparing shit to the comics, is Wolverine the anime a good show?
No.
Okay.
And that's what we're here to discuss today.
Spoiler alert. No.
All right.
Matt has placed his opinion.
No.
Let me explain a little backstory about.
I'd rather watch paint dry, and I'm serious.
Let me explain a little backstory about this anime before we go on to dogging it until it goes into the ground 6 feet under. This anime was a fever child or a fever dream of Marvel Studios and Japanese Madhouse Studios to make they came to Madhouse, Marvel did, and wanted to bring at least superheroes to Japan.
Superheroes or Marvel superheroes?
Marvel superheroes. Okay. Marvel superheroes.
Well, we got.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
They brought
superheroes weird.
They brought Iron Man, Wolverine, the whole X-Men gang, and Blade. We're only talking about Wolverine today, but I, as Liquid Gold Steve, is probably going to watch the rest of the shows to see if it's better than this. Because, yes, how Kadawfi said it compared to the comics and the movies, hot garbage. But compared to an actual anime that they wanted to try to make their own, it's better than going to the same world as the second time. I'd rather watch iCard. But we're going to talk about this because we have an audience and we like to please you.
Can I lead off?
To start off, we'll talk about the story for we won't get into all the particulars, but we'll talk about the story, and then we'll talk about what we like about it and what we don't like about it. So if everyone's ready to go, buckle in, get some popcorn, get a drink, and be ready for Wolverine the anime. The story is that Wolverine, Logan, because I just want to call him Logan, he's not Wolverine to me, has a girlfriend, Mikio.
Isn't this story based off of like one of the comics?
Yes, but I didn't want to really bring it up because this was kind of Madhouse kind of had free reign, so you don't know how much comparison to the comics.
Right.
We never read the comics.
Right. I mean, essentially, I'm not trying to cut you back.
If you want to cut back, then yeah.
No, I'm not trying to cut you back. I'm throwing this out here. Essentially, this is like the Wolverine, the anime, like the movie The Wolverine.
But the anime actually came out beforehand.
Right.
Not too long beforehand.
It was a little while.
2013 was when The Wolverine
came
with Hugh Jackman.
And this was out in like
2011.
2011? That was out earlier. Oh, that's right.
It came out, the whole set came out in 2010, starting with Iron Man, but 2011, in between like June and September, Wolverine played out.
And the reason why I brought it up is like for fans of the anime or fans of the movie, just so that way they're not like, this sounds just like. This is that.
Then I'll give a little bit more. This adaptation was taken from a story in 1982 by a comic book writer named Chris Claremont, who, if anybody knows who's in the know of comic books, he was the writer. He was the man, the myth for Uncanny X-Men through mid 70s, early 80s. I think he stopped after a while. I think someone else took it over
Yeah,
after that.
he went on to do other projects
But
for a while.
this was a solo limited series in 1982 with co-writer and artist Frank Miller. The Frank Miller that did Batman Year One, or the last
The Dark Knight Returns.
The Dark Knight Returns. I was
Yeah.
thinking was it Batman Year 1 too with Frank
I don't
Miller?
think Frank Miller did that one. Frank Miller is also famous for The Watchmen.
I don't like Batman.
Oh, okay. But yes, they
Get
collabed into this story, and it's not particularly the same story, but it's what.
Good either.
Now we're going to get to the actual anime because Madhouse and Marvel agreed that it was free reign for Japanese studio Madhouse to take this story how they wanted to make it for Japanese viewers.
That's pretty cool.
Because it wasn't for Americans. This
Right.
was to bring a more sight to Marvel superheroes, not just every superhero, Marvel superheroes to Japan. I'm guessing they don't have like a big foothold in Japan.
Yeah, I don't think they did at the time. They probably got one
They probably
nowadays
now,
with
but-
Spider-Man existing.
They probably was still there because they are like comic book readers, but they're not like Spider-Man and fucking Daredevil and
Right.
Hulk and shit like that.
As a Spider-Man fan, I know there's an old Japanese like live action show that I haven't seen,
Yeah,
but apparently that shit is wild.
Spider-Man with a motorcycle and shit.
He uses a machine gun. He jumps into a fucking mech. Like Spider-Man's apparently fucking out there.
Well, this story starts out with Wolverine, Logan, how the sub, because ladies and gentlemen, I watched it in sub. I'm so happy I watched it in sub because I watched 3 episodes in dub, and it's only 12 episodes, ladies.
Terrible.
12 episodes. 3 episodes in, I couldn't listen to it no more. I thought Wolverine's character, and they even got, if anybody knows, they got the original voice actor of Wolverine. He's in it, but he's not Wolverine. He's the guy with the knife hands, Kikyo.
Knife hands. Not katana hands, but knife hands.
Knife hand.
He Freddy Krueger out here. Or Edward Scissorhands.
Hey,
ass. Yeah,
MattMatt brought a good point up. Kikyo, how can he bend his arms with those knives in his hands? Are they flexible?
Hear me out.
You ever seen Alex Mack or T-1000?
Hear me. No.
It's just liquid.
Fuck. No, it's not.
Until he brings it out.
And then
Hear me out.
hard as steel.
I wasn't too mad. Like I could get past it the first time I saw it because when the first time they drew it, it looked like it was just as long as his forearm. Right? Cool. I can get down. But like later in the show, when he pulls out his second sword and that shit's as long as his whole body, I'm just like, nah, fuck no. Y'all are fucking lying to me. I don't want to hear this shit.
The second sword was the same size as the other katana.
I'm making a point.
when it was just
Like
a
this,
single
the
sword.
shit was like 3 foot long when it come out. Like it would come out and it looked like a forearm size, right? But then like when he'd be holding it, it'd be like fucking 3 foot.
It probably wasn't 3 foot. Matt's probably exaggerating. Well,
They were made of liquid.
All right, we're just gonna we're gonna
They were made of
skip over that part. We're gonna talk about it in the story. But the story kicks off with Logan with his girlfriend Mikio on a boat in New York City, and he is just chilling with his girl on a boat for some random fucking reason. And there are, I wouldn't call them ninjas. I think honestly they were AIM because there was a lot of AIM like grunts and workers there in the show. So I think it was probably AIM working with the family, or would it be? It wouldn't be Kirihagi. It wouldn't be him yet. It'd probably be the family.
Shinzen.
The 9-headed dragon.
Yeah.
Yoshida, the Yoshida family.
Yeah.
Well, the AIM family, the AIM.
What is AIM exactly in Marvel or in X-Men continuity?
Advanced idea mechanics.
What do they do?
They are like anti-shield. They're like Hydra.
They're not Hydra though.
They're a scientific organization. They're the people behind MODOK.
Yeah, they're another scientific organization like Tony Stark's or Stark Enterprises or Shield or Hydra, because there kind of is like a somewhat underground Hydra in the Marvel universe still.
Yeah, like Hydra's never going away.
Yeah,
Never.
and usually
So-
AIM works with them because they're evil.
Okay. So AIM is like a subcontractor.
They're still not. They're not going to do the Nazi salute, but they're at least going to help you, give you all the guns and the electronics that you need.
Right. It's like when Hydra's down a man or down too much manpower, they send AIM to go pick up gangsters like
Pretty much.
Wolverine.
They didn't pick him up. They fucking took Mikio with them. They attacked Wolverine.
Semantics.
All I know is that
Semantics.
somehow, some way, in the first episode, Wolverine, the man that could like smell for miles, can hear like a pin drop in a fucking auditorium with millions of people. He couldn't find his girlfriend for a year. It was a year until he found them, and it wasn't even him finding them. It was his friend from Japan. He was saying, "Yeah, the Yoshida family are like really bad, and this is his daughter. It's Mikio. Holy shit!"
Yeah, I think it was really funny that he was looking for a year, but didn't think to go find the Japanese girl in Japan. He like stayed in New York.
Yeah,
and was like, I can't find her. Where's my girlfriend? I can't find her. You think they just took her across the street, Logan?
Pretty much.
Is that what you think?
They weren't at the bar. Fuck.
I don't know where to go now.
Let me check the next bar.
All right. Well, a man named Asano, which is like his best friend for some reason. They explained that he knew him for like years. In Japan, said, yeah, the Yoshida family are trying to marry off your girlfriend so they can get power into, or money and power in a small off island, from Japan called Madripoor.
Mm-hmm.
And
Madripoor.
Madripoor. They said it in sub was Madripoor.
Dub, it was Madripoor.
It was an island full of like nothingness.
No, it wasn't full of. It wasn't full of nothingness. It was full of thugs, thieves, people that hoopity poos that you would want like pay $5 to be your henchman.
You know, it's kind of like I wonder why, like how a city like that makes any money. Like how was the guy at the top of that city? How does he have money?
Steals it.
Where? Like steal it from who? From the people of his island? Like everybody's poor. Everybody's a gangster. You know, like where
He
is
throws
that?
some money into
Where was that money coming from?
into the economy.
Well,
and then
honestly,
steals
the
it back.
story never explained it. It was just like, yep, he inherit the man that we'll meet later, Kurohagi, the one that is that Shinjin, the leader of the
9 Dragons?
the 9 Dragons.
Nine-headed dragon? Yoshida.
In the story, they never really explained how the man that we'll meet later, who is engaged to the head of the family of Yoshidas, Mikio, is Kurohagi. Never give that's his last name. Never give a first name. Did anybody get a first name in the dub?
Pussy.
Pussy Kurohagi.
Yep.
We'll just call him Pussy Kurohagi.
Hideki?
Hideki.
Hideki?
Hideki.
That's probably what they called him, but Puss Boy. Puss for kittens. Motherfucker.
The whole time he was on screen, he felt like the.
He was. Like,
because he was.
He looked like
okay,
my dad can sue your dad.
that is who he was, in fact. He, in fact, was,
'Cause he
my
did-
dad can take out your dad. That's, it, I mean, you know, like, he was another one of them asshole characters that pushes their glasses up for no reason.
Holds him there.
Like,
Held
hey,
him there.
Like, bro, you didn't do nothing clever, but here you go, I got this gun that can stop Wolverine. And then it doesn't work. I'm sorry, I'm going too far.
We'll get to that. But we're not going to talk about the whole story because if you guys want to watch it, it's not a bad story. It's just if it wasn't Wolverine as the main character, they could be anybody else. Like any kind of anime character, just make a person up. And this show might be fire. But with my knowledge of it, it's like that's not Wolverine for me.
Yeah, I mean,
All right.
so
Wolverine finds out from Asano, his old friend from Japan, that his girlfriend is getting married off to Kurohagi. They go to Japan, and Asano is a top level agent for, I think it's the Japanese version of the DEA.
Okay.
Or it's like international, like
Interpol
like
or some
Interpol,
shit.
something like
Yeah.
that. And he's like one of the top agents, and he's giving Wolverine this chance to you can get your girl back, but we need you also to help us take down Shinjin, the head of the 9-headed dragon Yakuza family Yoshidas. I think they call him 9-headed dragon. I think there was another name for him. But Wolverine gets there. He turns in Berserk Wolverine because he sees his girl and he's like, oh shit, she's right there. Time to go Wolverine out. And he does do up all of the side poopity-poos, all the side people. But when Shinjin shows up, he's like, oh, I'm real and everything. And he's like, you know what, Wolverine, if you beat me, I'll let you have my daughter.
Yo, I'm gonna jump in on you right here.
Okay.
I'm gonna jump in on you right here. Because actually, this is the first episode still, isn't it? First and second episode?
I think Wolverine helps Asuna with something in the first episode. I think the beginning of the second episode is when they start infiltrating.
Right, when he goes like on his secret spy mission, because that's what we do with Wolverine. Anyway.
You know, honestly, Wolverine...
He's really good at sneaking. He really is, but not in the way they set him up on this one. Anywho, he breaks into a compound and beats the dog shit out of like all the bodyguards, and then Shinjin up there with his dope ass up there, bald headed, in his wooden katana, and was like, "Come on, Wolverine, let's do it then. Since you think you nice and shit here, you take a wooden katana, I'll take a wooden katana, and let's see who's gonna get their ass whooped here today." Now, if Wolverine was not an almighty healing mutant, that'd be the end of the show, because fucking Shinjin beat his ass. Shinjin, for those of you who like Inuyasha, did a wind scar with a fucking wooden blade and damn near sliced Wolverine in half. He beat Wolverine's ass so bad, Wolverine put the wooden sword down and pulled his animanium claws out. That's how bad. No, he didn't have to. He could have took his L with honor, but he couldn't. He just fucking couldn't let it happen. He's like, I need my girlfriend. No. And I mean, you know, if it wasn't for Hideki's punk ass, that also would have ended the episode, because Wolverine would have killed Shinjin right there on the spot. Shinjin himself was a nasty motherfucker. He's probably legit my favorite character in the show. I've been talking shit all week long, but Shinjin was the nastiest. He fucking beat Wolverine's ass with a wooden sword and then continued to talk shit the whole series. Just talk shit like can't nobody touch him.
Well, if you can slide Wolverine, the main character of the show, you can kind of talk shit, because Kurahagi was like, I'm never going to be in the same room with Wolverine. But Shinjin was like, come on, man. Let's go. Let's go.
What you scared
What you mean? Huh?
It's just a mutant.
All right. So, like, they do their fight for about 15 minutes, and Wolverine's getting his punk ass beat. And then Kurahagi shows up and shows the new and improved fucking... It was like a neuralizing agent.
It was like a neuralizing agent and like a mutant gene stopper. Because, you know, in all X-Men medium, somebody's got to have some kind of bullet that can stop mutants from mutating.
And that's where AIM comes in.
Stop the healing factor.
And that's where AIM comes in with Kurahagi. I think Kurahagi bought some from AIM. I think that's all it was.
Kurahagi was developing all those technologies. That was like, he had like an R&D department from somewhere. Again, the motherfucker had money. No one knows where it comes from, but he had money and he had an R&D department. Every time he popped up one of them little bitch ass guns, it was, look what my team has developed. Look what we've developed now. Now we've made it stronger. We got a better bullet that can kill a Wolverine.
Never kills a Wolverine.
Wolverine gets his ass beat, and they tell him pretty much dump the body because they think Wolverine's just done for. Try to find somewhere to go kill him. And they put him on the train tracks, and Wolverine disappears. No one knows where Wolverine is. And this is where one of my favorite characters come in. I like Yu-Gi-Oh!
I bet I know why you like Yu-Gi-Oh!
Why?
Them titties was always out. Motherfucker wore painted on pants.
Absolutely not.
Garbage ass.
I liked her as an assassin. I thought she
I respected her as a woman.
No,
it just so happens a lot of Steve's favorite characters had the titties always hanging out. It just so happens.
Okay. What? You can think that Kadawfi and you can think that MattMatt, but it wasn't for that. It was no. It's because I'm just gonna spoil. I don't give a fuck if I spoil this now. I thought at the end, because MattMatt finally finished it, and I can tell Kadawfi now.
You thought she had a good story?
No, I think it was a better love story than Mikio and fucking Wolverine.
Oh yeah, 100.
Like at the very end, I was like, yeah, that is like when she died. I was like,
That
Oh my
sucks. Yeah, like,
She died to a small cut on her side.
What you mean?
That shit was like barely a scratch.
Shinjin fucking slit like from like guts and everything up.
Yeah, Shinjin,
Like killed her.
he put the pussy on the chain wax.
But
Every time he pulled that sword out.
But you guys can go fuck yourselves. It wasn't because she had her titties out. No,
it's because her mama had her titties out.
No.
I
thought her mom.
I will admit there was only.
I thought her mom and her dad were stupid. I thought the whole backstory of her was stupid.
Steve's sitting there like, damn, y'all deserve to die.
No,
Yeah, I get it.
I don't believe. Okay, yes, they deserve to die because Yukio's mom was sent out to kill somebody later on in the story, but like she didn't because she got her cheek slid by the fucking son of the dude later in the story, and it was like,
Don't worry, son. I handled it.
They deserve to die. They fucking shouldn't have fucking done that
She
shit.
didn't take her target out. This is the classic spy story. You know, they didn't take their targets out because they fell in love with their targets. You know, fucking Spy Kids did that. A good story.
But like you got like I don't understand why because she was a woman and she had her titties out. And I was like, yeah,
I mean, it just
that was the greatest thing ever.
And it's not like she just had a little bit of her titty out. It was like titty.
She reminded me of like the Japanese Black Widow. That was it. That was like that's all it thought me.
That's
of.
what I kind of thought.
I was like, oh, this could be just
this is Black Widow. All right,
Black Widow. But yes, and then you in that same episode you meet his rival of the story, and you know what? His rival was probably one of the best. Like he wasn't the best character, but he was better than Horihagi or fucking Asano.
He was the epitome of just because you're a bad guy does not mean you're a bad guy.
He was still an assassin that killed people.
I mean, yeah, but like he had honor.
He only did it if the fight was honorable.
And if it was
Honorful?
fair.
Honorful. That's the word we're going
that's,
for.
Kadawfi
Honorable.
original.
He was a lot like what you call it, the best swordsman ever. Fuck's his name, Musashi. It's kind of like that. Like he'd fuck you up, yeah, no doubt, but only if there was some honor in it. If there wasn't no honor in it, kill your ass. Go on somewhere else.
There was some good fights with him, even with the wind blade and everything he pulled out, and fucking Wolverine just like, man, that ain't shit to me. That ain't shit to me. Hit me harder, motherfucker.
Yeah.
That brings me to a good point in the show. Like, there was a lot of times in the show where Wolverine was quote unquote about to die. The only times he was really about to die was when he was with someone else. Like everything that I saw in that show with him about like the Hell Road when he was about to fall on the spikes, I'm just sitting there like Wolverine can get up from that.
They'd be all right.
He'd be the fuck okay. Now, Yukio, she not getting up. That's the only reason that he had trouble. The only reason he had trouble getting down Hell Road was because she was with him. Otherwise, he would have just fine. Like that's what I like about Wolverine. They didn't really show it in the show. Like they showed him like getting hurt and healing, right? Like, oh, he had some concrete fall on him and everything. Wolverine is capable of being ripped in half and crawling to the other half of his body and putting himself back together.
Weird.
Like that's the Wolverine I was hoping for.
I just want to bring up before we get any further into the story. This is on the dub side of the Wolverine anime. How can you fucking bring in the original voice actor of Wolverine?
Oh, Steve Bloom? Yeah, that pissed me off. That was the first thing that pissed me off.
And not even give it, like, not even let him be Wolverine. You made him be the fucking rival. How you do that? Like, you don't sound like Wolverine enough.
They could have not used Steve Bloom. That'd have been fine if Wolverine didn't sound like a teenager.
He did sound like a teenager.
Like,
He sounded like...
and dubbed, he sounded like his balls were on the way to dropping.
If you didn't notice, I noticed it. It felt like every time he'd say a sentence, he would be like, "Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be Wolverine."
Yeah. Like I don't know if I didn't watch this. I watched like 2 episodes of the sub, and I was like, it's gonna be shitty no matter what. The voice work was terrible. I liked the animation kind of sorta, but the voice work I think sub and dub was terrible. But every time I saw him say something, it was just like, why are you trying so hard to be Wolverine? Just be Wolverine. Like,
You got Steve Bloom in the other room. Ask him.
Ask him how do I grunt. Like, you know.
Yeah, you could have asked notes or took notes and everything,
But
but
he's like, no, I'm gonna do it on my own. I'm gonna do my own original take on Wolverine. Woo!
well, to be honest, for me, the sub was 10 times better. I don't like Kadawfi saying that they were both bad. I like there's a character about to come up that AIM brought in, or no, Court Hockey brought in, and he sounded great.
Oh,
That
wonderful. Sub and dub, he sounded great.
I thought no, I did not like the Russian voice. Like he is Russian.
I loved it.
But I didn't like the Russian. It sounded like a and we're talking about Omega Red, one of Wolverine's
greatest
rogues gallery villain. Yeah, you always hear about Batman, you always hear about Spider-Man's rogues gallery, but Wolverine's got one too.
Yeah.
Don't think he don't have one.
A lot of people want to kill Wolverine.
I'd like to point something out about the this isn't just Wolverine, this is a lot of characters in Marvel in general. Have you ever noticed that Marvel likes to use the same trope of we're trying to create Captain America again?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, I think Steve knows, I don't know if you know, but you know that Wolverine's a part of the Weapon X program.
Yeah.
Right?
He is Weapon X, yeah.
Do you know who Weapon 1 is?
Weapon 1, if it's not Cap, I don't know.
It is Cap.
It is Cap.
It is Cap. That's the whole like Deadpool, Weapon 11.
That's what
right?
that's what all the not all, but a lot of the genetically modified heroes and or villains are in Marvel in general.
Yeah.
It's
like with Omega Red.
It's like we had that one we were successful one fucking time and we can't seem to recreate it. And we have all these abominations that we've accidentally unleashed on the planet.
Yeah, like the
because the Hulk and Omega Red and
Wolverine, Deadpool.
Who else?
I'm not calling Wolverine an abomination because if you think about it,
they were trying
making super soldier serum and then putting it into a mutated body that already can take a healing factor, can have wooden claws, and fucking can.
Well, they were metal claws. They were
Bone
experimenting
claws,
on Wolverine because they were trying to take, parts of his DNA to create a new super soldier, right? Like at the same time, because it was Stryker's team. If y'all don't know Marvel Comics, we're about to speak fucking French. Stryker's team was built of failed super soldier experiments. It was the weapon program.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was Weapon X, and he was trying to, like, the reason he used the animanium on Logan instead of Sabretooth, because you saw that in the movie, which they also kind of did that in the comics, was Sabretooth wasn't able to handle that because his healing factor wasn't as good. Right? He had one, but it wasn't as strong as Wolverine's.
Sabretooth has a small amount of animanium. He doesn't have the full skeleton.
He doesn't have the full skeleton.
Yeah,
but
not like Logan, but he's got a decent amount. I think in one of the comics after they snatched his animanium out of his body, he was able to get some of Sabretooth's to replace his shit.
Oh yeah, when fucking Magneto did that shit.
Yeah, when Magneto snatched his. Sidebar, reading that comic finally, I thought Magneto snatching the animanium out of Wolverine's body was going to be like snatching the skeleton out of the front of him. But it was like they took blobs of animanium out through his pores and turned it,
Yeah.
Like it looked like T-1000.
I probably didn't feel very good.
I'm sure it didn't feel good, but I mean, if you told me, hey, Kadawfi, I need you to draw me a panel of Professor X, damn Magneto snatching Wolverine's animanium out of his body, the picture I would have drawn would be of a Wolverine with flappy skin in the front and just a skeleton thing coming out of the front of him.
It looks like a Mortal Kombat fatality.
He can heal, so just make that shit as visceral as possible. Like,
I don't think he's healing from that because he needs his brain.
I mean, take his brain, just
it's in his skeleton.
The metal of his skeleton, not like in blobs, not like you heated it up and melted it down.
Take his skeleton, just take the metal.
Just to take the
metal.
Oh yeah,
that'd be awful.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying? Like it's just like it looked like you took a skeleton out of his face, but
you're not taking that.
It was just the animation.
Well, that's something that even with X-Men doesn't really delve into it. They kind of get a little bit more family friendly oriented. Wolverine, one big thing I noticed in the show was how did you know an enemy was defeated? Right? And this is, I'm going to compare the comics, the movies, and the anime right now. Right? In the anime, you know how you know a goon was defeated? His weapon blew up. Right? Or he got, fucking slashed off screen. Right? You know how it happens in the movies? They get stabbed and they fall over. You know how you know an enemy's defeated in a Wolverine comic? They no longer have a head.
Yeah, there's pieces.
And like that's one thing. Like they had everything they needed for the show, and I realized they was trying to. It was built for the teenage, younger generation, right? A little bit older, but not too young. but you can still have.
These are the same kids that were watching Guyver and shit. Like, blood and guts were not a scary thing for them.
I think they were just trying to not dumb it down, but like try to dial it back for those audiences.
I think they were trying to dial it back going from America to Japan.
Mm-hmm.
I think they were trying to like not the red carpet, but like, you know, hey, kick your feet off right here, you know, before you come to my house kind of shit. Just kind of like, this is a taste of it, not the whole thing. And it's not for anime fans, people who've been watching, you know, gory anime or whatever their whole lives, to go, ooh, shit, a Wolverine anime? Like, the first thing you think is fucking Berserker Barrage.
That's
the
what
first
I
shit you
wanted.
think.
That's all I wanted. You know?
And
Honestly,
like,
I was thinking the same thing.
we didn't get that guy. Like,
Apparently, you get that in X-Men anime.
you almost wanted Midway and Madhouse to have made this. You know?
Okay, because it would show a little bit of blood. Like, you would see like slashes and blood and stuff. But yeah, you would think,
Especially when Shinjin was on screen.
Wolverine anime. I was waiting for fucking heads to be lopped off. I was waiting for like just blood and guts. I was waiting when he did his 2 berserkers out of the whole 12 episodes. He did 2 berserkers out of 12 episodes,
And they weren't even that good.
Because when he did the berserk the first time, Shinjin shut that shit down. You know what happened the second time? Shinjin shut that shit down again.
Shinjin nice.
Like,
I mean,
I wanted to bring this up real fast. How do you think Wolverine sharpens his claws? Do you think he pops out one, just sharpens it, pops out another and sharpens it?
Fun fact, yes. That is what the fuck happens.
Oh, hell yeah.
Precisely what he does.
Because, like, man, he can't, I bet you
He
this thing
uses his
other claw.
his other claws to sharpen them. Yeah, that's 100%
that's
what
when
he
he
does.
fucking does this shit?
Like a whetstone.
Well, that's another thing. Is like what was it said later in the episode?
Sharpen steel. Iron sharpen.
One of the later episodes of the show, they didn't really show it with him.
It is a different kind of metal.
With him, like him getting beat up, right? Like he'd get blasted by like the big dude you saw later on, and he'd be down for the count for like a minute. It's like, yeah, his healing factor's a thing, and they were also in the background like, oh, he feels all of this. Like Wolverine, every time he wields his claws, he feels that.
Yeah.
Like it's not like, you know, oh, I just got every time.
Yeah, it's painful every time.
And it's
You gotta
like
cut your skin.
like I said, is
And
I got the
then
show.
that shit'll heal, and you gotta retract it back and go through that scar again.
For media that explains everything down to the fucking footsteps, I feel like we were missing. I feel like they wanted you to know about something, but at the same time, I wanted them to tell us about this. You know?
What made me mad, and Kadawfi brought it up earlier this week, and you did bring it up, and it was right. The Wolverine origins story, when he sat in the bike, that bitch broke. That bitch broke with an adamantium skeleton.
Yeah, because he's heavy.
Yeah.
Yes, and in this show, it felt like he was a feather.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. Was like the and it wasn't necessarily just his weight, but it was like the gravity of what Wolverine is. You know, like
He doesn't always have to pull out his claws. I bet you can beat somebody up.
Like his physical presence alone is heavy. You know what I mean? Like Wolverine showing up and people going like, "Oh, okay, that's not how that works." Like
you see
like,
Wolverine, either somebody's dying.
Oh shit! Who's already dead? Somebody's already dead.
Like, what would you call this shit? Wolverine year 100?
Year 100, like Batman year 1.
Because it didn't feel like this character didn't necessarily feel like he had been around a few hundred years. This guy doesn't seem like he can survive in the woods by himself. This guy, he just doesn't, he's Logan, but he's not Wolverine. And taking that into account while watching the show, maybe, just maybe, you can get a different side of Wolverine. You know, he's not really thinking. He's not really using all of his brain and all of his skills like he should be because he's chasing pussy. But I mean,
he's chasing his woman.
He was chasing his woman. He's desperate.
One thing they did get right is how he is physically strong. You know,
yeah.
Like the perfect example besides like the big Goliath fight he had was the when he's on the bike and heading to the to rescue Mikio. I'm gonna get it right for the end of the episode.
I'm not.
And he's stabbing damn concrete slabs filled with rebar and just tossing them with one hand. Like, yeah, and Wolverine is 100% capable of that. Like I was super happy that they didn't go, oh, he's just he's just human. No, Wolverine is capable.
He's not like Superman strength.
Yeah,
like,
never.
Or the Incredible Hulk strength, but he has enough. Like he's like maybe in the Captain America range. Maybe with the adamantium, he's a little bit stronger because that's a heavy fucking metal. Yeah. So, Kadawfi, what were you trying to say?
That was just going to bring me back to the Omega Red fight, like Wolverine's strength, because like Omega Red, I loved Omega Red in this show. Like he was as big as he should have been. He was as fucking ridiculous and over the top as he should have been. And the way to defeat him was satisfying because you didn't have to kill Omega Red to defeat him, but to rip that arm off of him. That was pretty fucking cool. Like,
with the blade into the wall. Yeah, I kind of like that.
Like
that
the way he did it, like
something like that.
I was watching that fight and being like, man, what the fuck? Like, is Wolverine just gonna get his ass whooped this whole show? Is this? Did the Japanese go, Wolverine, Spider-Man, same person? Like, he just got his ass whooped every time you saw him. But when he pulled through on Omega, I was like, all right, bet. Because, like, Omega came back for round 2 on his ass. And I love that shit. Like, Wolverine was like, oh, man, we finally got away. We're going to chill out a minute. And here come Omega Red like fucking Kool-Aid Man. Oh, yeah. I'm about to beat your ass again. Where'd you think you were going, Wolvie? I love that shit.
I think it's funny with the Omega Red fight with him figuring out the box on his chest. And then the second time around, he shows back up. No, and approved, Wolverine. You can't beat me.
I need my drugs. Give me my drugs.
It's like fucking Bane from Batman.
What MattMatt said is kind of true. When Omega Red came out first, when they went to when Wolverine and Yukio went to the drug bust, that Asano's other Interpol people were there to take down a drug bust for Kurahagi. Mm-hmm. And Omega Red was there because he said, I had something special other than drugs. Somebody gonna help even the battlefield.
Yeah.
He show up, awesome. Amazing fight, great, 10 out of 10. Like I would like that's a great way to introduce someone that could be an antagonist to Wolverine.
Absolutely.
Second and third time, kind of trash.
Like I wasn't expecting Omega Red, and that caught me off guard a little bit. I wasn't really sure who I was expecting Silver Samurai. I was waiting the whole show for Silver Samurai.
That's
I was waiting on Sabretooth
That's
to
what
show up.
Shinjin was supposed to be.
And see, you didn't need Silver Samurai because Shinjin was there.
All I know is that
nice.
Omega Red, I really didn't know that much about Omega Red. I read comic books and everything, but Omega Red, when I hear that name, I didn't have
there was like no reaction for you.
Well, I didn't have a face to put to it.
I did
at all. I was when I heard Omega Red in comic books, I was like, that must be like a superhero or something. I didn't know. And then I read they explained it in the show, but I actually read up and it was like he's kind of like a vampire that takes life force away, and he's got this special metal just kind of like Wolverine, except it's just
carbonadium.
That's what it's called.
Which I don't know if y'all Steve said that they didn't mention it in the sub. The metal box, right?
On his chest?
They talked about that.
Well, they said it was vibranium, right? Did they state it was vibranium?
They didn't say it was vibranium.
You're talking about the metal, okay, not Omega Red, but the metal box.
No, that's carbonadium. That's always been
that. You're talking about the metal box that they had
Yukio in it.
Yukio had stashed it. Yeah, that was. Did they say vibranium?
I didn't say vibranium, and they didn't say all they said in the sub was Kurahagi came in there and said Wolverine can't get in this box.
Oh,
that's all he said.
That was
shit.
That
really?
was
he said it's like strong as Wolverine's like.
So like watching it from the sub, you were just like, why?
Yeah, why can't Wolverine?
let me explain to you why. Because it was made of vibranium, but at the same
we know why.
Well, at the same time, I was getting this is what I was getting to was when he actually broke in there. Like, why is it that he took bullets out of a minigun and like made a bandolier, right, to make an explosion, but then still slice through it? Like, don't tell me it was to weaken it, okay?
Is that right? I thought he just walked in the door.
No. He sliced through it.
I thought he just walked in the door.
No, he found out Yukio was captured.
Right.
Which is This is why I
might be
say
confused somewhere. I'm sorry.
this is why I say the love story should have been Yukio and Wolverine. Straight up, the picture. Like, okay, I'll get to this part. Wolverine did a Spider-Man, and you're kind of right. He kind of was more Spider-Man than Wolverine. He took out all the cameras. He took out all the turrets and everything, and then they were like, "Whoa, what's happening?" The goons are just fucking freaking out and shit. And then all of a sudden, you hear a big bang, and then fucking Wolverine's claws go. Door
He
opens.
did rip through the damn door. You're
Yeah,
right. I'm sitting there thinking of the part where he was going around it with his claw. And was
Yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah,
how do I get
Because he
here?
was finding a weak spot.
Right,
Like, I
looking
get
for a
that
weak
part,
spot.
but like at the same time, it's like, but it's vibranium. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say that Wolverine can't get through vibranium. I think he can. I need to think of a time that he has.
I think he can on a technicality.
I think he can on a technicality, but at the same time, all I'm wondering is why the fuck he caused the explosion in the first place.
And I think that's the technicality. I think because like vibranium absorbs the impact and throws it back out, right?
It doesn't throw it back out. That's Black Panther you're thinking of. The
Oh, yeah,
vibranium,
it's vibranium
like
did
if
that.
you
Right.
like, that's why when people shoot Cap shield, bullets just drop.
Yeah.
Like they don't bounce off.
Because there's no, it just absorbs the impact.
Absorbs
It
it.
just
Maybe
absorbs
he
it.
took the impact and then he fucking caught it.
That's
cut
what
it
I'm
down.
like. I'm trying to make a science equation about it. And I think you're right, Steve. I think he made the explosion and was. I don't fucking know.
I think it's
Honestly, I think it's bullshit. I think it's bullshit. I think it's bullshit.
Like, dude, I'm sitting there like, okay, well, how's it gonna? What the
All right.
fuck?
Before we get to all the bullshit and everything, let's get a few more points of the story because Hell Road was kind of cool.
Hellroad was super cool.
I liked the whole, like, it felt like a long time, but it was just like an afternoon. Like
That's a long
I'm
ass
not
afternoon.
gonna explain what Madripoor, all the people in it. If a new viewer of Wolverine has never read a comic or anything, watch it.
Yeah, there's a ton more story. That we're not.
You might enjoy it, honestly. But if you really want an actual Wolverine, go watch Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
Or watch X-Men,
Which one?
the 90s or even the 2000s.
Now-
That's
now-
my
now-
boy.
now-
Hold on.
Now, if you want a good animated Wolverine, if you want a good animated, one is that's well animated, it's the right kind of voice, the right kind of attitude, and he's not a complete fucking asshole. Check out X-Men Evolution.
I got one.
That one's the shit.
I got one for you also, and this is also a reason I know Omega Red. Have you ever seen the Hulk versus animation?
I actually have not.
That right
Okay.
there, it's based off the Ultimate Hulk versus Wolverine,
Right.
but it's different.
I have the comics for it, and it's
Um,
gory and bloody.
It is because Hulk,
It's Hulk and Wolverine.
yeah, Hulk
Yeah.
rips that motherfucker. That's how the show, the comics start, and I
Yeah.
mean, like, he wakes up in the snow, just his torso.
It's kind of like Wolverine versus Predator. Those are some good ass comics.
Predator bit off more he could chew with. That's what I was getting at with the show with Wolverine, like with Hell Road. Is like none of this shit, right? Like even the pendulums, like them giant ass pendulums they was using. It's like that shit ain't gonna, like it might hit him, but like he gonna be launched and then come back.
You guys talk about it, but I like how Wolverine had enough sense and I'm trying to think of the word, like not canniness, but not foresight. What's the damn word? It's like you
Experience,
Clairvoyance.
knowledge,
it could
accuracy.
be there's like a synonym for like foresight or knowledge that I can't think of right
What's
now.
the context?
Just-
Use it in a sentence.
Just him like knowing what to do. Like he had it's like experience, but there's another
Wisdom.
word. Wisdom. It might be wisdom. But him knowing what to do. He found the weak points of the pendulum. He pointed it towards the enemies.
Right.
And then you saw what happened when they couldn't beat Wolverine. They turned on each other.
Yep.
They immediately turned on each other. Every single fucking thief, bandit, murderer, fucking as soon as they fucking started losing, they turned on each other.
I think it's kind of funny how much everybody in Japan seemed to know about Wolverine, but then when push came to shove, like you said, they go, "Oh shit, we actually can't beat this guy," and panic on each other. And it's like you knew so much about Wolverine, but y'all didn't seem to know y'all couldn't beat him.
well,
Like
that's
y'all didn't like nobody was actually prepared to beat Wolverine.
I think
like,
it's more
that's the
like
that's the
somebody should have had a vat of fucking molten lava, just like T1000. Somebody should have like they weren't really prepared. They just thought they could just whoop his ass and it'd be over.
I think it was more of a slowdown
The
thing.
only
But it's like, do they know what a Wolverine is?
the only way to actually kill Wolverine. Well, the only way to actually kill Wolverine is suffocation. That's the only actual way to kill him.
I mean,
Right?
he can't drown.
But see, if he drowns, he will stay in a catatonic state until exposed to air again. Then that
Right.
motherfucker will wake back up.
So, I mean,
right?
wouldn't suffocation be the same?
No. The way they kill Wolverine in the comics, right? They doused his ass in molten adamantium
Mhm.
and suffocated him to death,
Yeah. Makes
right?
sense.
And he stayed dead because, Marvel Comics, then he came back.
They brought Old Man Logan back, is what they did do, like, when they finally killed
All
Wolverine.
right, let's get the P's and Q's out of the way for the story.
But if Wolverine's after you, just get a big pool. Don't be in it because he'll swim after your ass.
Shinjin.
Shinjin, dumbass.
There's Hell Road, Kurahagi fucking throwing everything at him, and then Shinjin showing up with his fucking, I wouldn't call it like adamantium or even vibranium suit.
It was a vibranium and steel suit. It's what it was officially.
It was his black samurai outfit.
That shit was
Because
nice.
they
That shit
didn't want to be
was
Silver
nice.
Samurai.
Like, bro, when he pulled that shit out, I was like, oh, y'all done fucked up. He had that shit on the whole time. Oh my God. Everybody's fucked up now.
When shit started bouncing off him, I was like, something has to be.
The funniest thing when I think about it is like when he took his gi off and he showed the suit. He's like, I got a vibranium and steel outfit. You can't get through this. And I'm like, dude, your fucking neck and head is exposed. Like, all of your neck is exposed, dumbass. Like, you couldn't cover your jugular at least?
How'd they kill him?
Through the neck.
Through the neck.
It's the only way. They had to give him some kind of a way out.
You can't stab me in the heart. I'll
All
take
right.
your fucking head off then.
Well, we just told Shinjin died. We're not going to say about the rest of the part,
I
but
don't think he's dead.
all I'm going to say is the shot of Wolverine holding Yukio was like, I felt like I was like, damn.
At the end?
Yes.
Yeah.
When she died, I was like, I'm telling you guys, that was the love story that I'd rather see than fucking.
It was kind of sad because, like, she was trying real hard to, like, be part of Wolverine's, at least his little clique. And he was like, nah, fuck out my face. And then, she introduced, like, not really introduced him, but was, like, helping him out around the little raggedy-ass island. And then, like, she had a much deeper connection with that raggedy-ass island, and Wolverine was still like, yeah, but you ain't my bitch. Like, but you ain't my bitch.
Man.
It was like,
I feel like Wolverine should have traded bitches.
I will point this out also with Kurahagi. I think the funniest scene in the whole show was when after what was it, Logan and Shingami started a fight. Shinjin, right? And Kurahagi like picked up Miriko, and then who's the assassin's name? The blade. Kikyo was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" He's like walking to a back closet. He's like, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it."
Creeper. He was a creeper the whole time.
Creep. I was like, "What are you doing?"
Don't spoil it. But don't spoil it.
Don't spoil. No
how'd
spoilers.
How'd you guys like the twist with Yukio?
I saw it coming. I knew it.
I didn't see it. You saw that coming?
I didn't see
Honor.
it coming.
You saw that coming?
There was no honor in that.
Yeah, but you saw that coming.
I saw that coming.
You
There
saw
was no
that coming.
honor in that. There was no
I
honor in
didn't see
that.
it. I felt
There was no honor in that.
I feel like they just threw that shit in there. I feel like they just threw, because you know what?
What the hell else was she doing there?
Because when fucking Wolverine brought that shit up to the real dude,
He was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I think they just threw that shit in. Because like that was a useless ass twist. Like
She's dying anyway.
her doing it was useless.
No, it wasn't, because
Wolverine
Wolverine wouldn't have given a shit.
Still a beautiful
That
shot.
that is like if Wolverine acted like our Wolverine, like real Wolverine, in fact, he would not have given a shit.
Wolverine certainly would have given a shit because he was chasing after his girl.
Okay.
And she was chasing after the people who had his girl.
Okay, that's
And
not his
like-
girl.
And like,
I don't give a fuck about them. You don't give a fuck.
All right.
You don't give a fuck.
like they were going the same direction anyway. Which she did, according to the show, was just like, we're going the same direction. Oh, I'm going to turn left, and I'll meet you over here. Like, it just didn't make any...
He'd have treated her ass like Solaire.
Like how Steve treated Solaire?
No, he
Fuck
didn't.
you guys.
Wolverine did not
First
kill
time-
Yukio as soon as
First
she...
time I played, it was not my fault.
The second time he played,
I didn't kill Solaire after that.
That was your fault.
How was that my fault? How was that my fault? A fucking person invaded my world. Shut up. Invaded my world.
I quit the game.
And then got in front of Solaire.
You went and killed Solaire.
Because Solaire started fucking hitting me. So I was like, oh, well, Solaire got to die.
Well, Solaire got hit first, so.
Well, because the fucking person got in the way of Solaire.
Well, at least you saved him from his fate.
All I'm going to say is that was a beautiful shot with Yukio and fucking Wolverine.
Yeah.
That should have been the love story. Mikio should have fucking died in the hole.
Dodged.
Sorry.
She should have dodged.
All right. Now that we got pretty much the finer points of the story that I really wanted to talk about, not the fucking garbage that was in the story. Wolverine's design, 10 out of 10. I'm all right with that Wolverine.
Wolverine's design loses 5 points from his fucking mutton chops sitting on top of his cheeks.
And
all he does is look at his hair.
And the
Travis touchdown jacket. The whole time I was sitting there like waiting on a fuckhead.
I like the Wolverine, the way they drew Wolverine. His fucking whole outfit was cool. Shinjin was a good character. And the ending credits with the fucking comic book shits, like what it would show in the next episode, was cool as fuck. And the intro cards were pretty damn cool.
The panel.
I feel like they tried really hard to like not offend anybody, but also at the same time make a decent show to kind of show off like what a collaboration could maybe be. Unfortunately, I just think they missed it. I think overall, I think they missed their mark with this one.
How far was the mark? Like, was it close or was it like, did they miss it by a mile or did they miss it by a few feet?
They didn't miss it by, they probably missed it by like a field goal attempt. You know, like they probably bounced off the field goal. And,
laces were out.
You know what I'm saying? Like they just kind of.
Laces are in. They were in.
I think they kind of just. I think they just like barely missed. Really, I think where they could have improved at overall with the show was, no lie, if it's going to be Wolverine, up the gore a little bit.
Yes,
you know,
absolutely.
Up the gore. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be the goriest thing you've ever seen in your life.
It does not have to be gore porn,
you know, but up the gore a little bit. Let's get some of that visceral Wolverine. And the main character, our named character, Wolverine, I do not like how he was written. Like, I do not like that. Like, his design was fine. I didn't mind his mutton chops. I didn't mind the cool jacket. I didn't mind the
shitty jokes.
The jeans or the he really shouldn't have had very many jokes, but it is what it is. I didn't really mind the show overall, but watching it felt like a fucking slog. Like, it felt like you had to really, oh God, like it felt like you had to force, yeah. You kind of had to force it, like, especially for me personally, after Omega Red, it felt like every other scene was action, 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 action. Let's talk about something. Action, 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 action. Let's talk about something.
Kuragawa being a creep.
And it was like unnecessary action. Like, a lot of times it was just like, what are all the, like, Wolverine being who Wolverine is. I don't give a damn what city you in. Ain't no 400 thugs about to run up on him. 10 are going to get sliced in half. And the 390 behind them are going to go, fuck that.
Fuck that.
Fuck that.
Fuck. You got mutants out here? What the fuck wrong with you? And then, I guess the big bad of the city, what the fuck was that thing's name? The statue?
Oh, I don't even remember.
The giant statue.
He was he was like the guardian of the Madrid war. That's
he was
all
like
I
a
remember.
giant statue, and he was garbage. Like, they sent him out there with no weapons,
Thinking he was just going to slide
no.
Wolverine.
The best, I will admit, the best line I found in the whole show was after they killed his ass, and Wolverine's like, and this is a 100% genuine Wolverine reaction where he goes, "I'm no art critic, but I like this one."
I don't remember that.
Kuragari, I left this for you.
I don't remember him saying that, but I that particular fight was stale for me.
Yeah.
Like, round 1 and round 2. when he went back and fought him with when the dude had his face shield.
Yeah.
And then Wolverine would
upgraded
never.
shield.
Sorry. Wolverine would have never needed help. Sorry. Wolverine would have never needed help on that.
I don't think he needed help in the first place. He accepted the help, but I don't think he needed it. Homeboy jumped in for his own reasons.
How'd you guys like the Cyclops cameo?
I liked it. That got me excited for X-Men.
I liked it because it's exactly how he would treat Scott Summers, like a dick.
And I also
Like a dick.
I also like how Scott Summers' voice was more gruff and deeper than Wolverine's. Like he kind of sunned him.
In sub, they sound about the same. Like in sub, Wolverine had those moments of gruff, and those moments of like lightheartedness. And in the sub, Omega Red had the deepest voice, Cyclops had the deepest voice, Shingen had the deepest voice, Kurahagi sounded like a bitch, like an actual hoe.
I think he needed to sound like a bitch.
Yeah, he's supposed to. He's supposed to sound like what's that bitch's name from Naruto? You know his name, the one we all hate.
Donzo?
No, Snake Sage.
Snake Sage.
Fucking
Oh,
Kabuto.
Kabuto.
That's who I got Kabuto vibe from him the whole time. I was like, kill him, kill him, kill him,
Kill him with fire.
kill him, kill him, kill him fast before he fucks everything. Kill him.
All right, well, let's close it out. I think we talked all the shit and all the good parts and bad parts and all the parts that we thought Wolverine should improve on, but they have not made a season 2 of this.
They're not going to. There's no need. I mean,
There's no need.
There's really no need.
But Wolverine anime. Last thoughts, last feelings. 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5. Dumpster fire with fucking shit in it.
Go read a Wolverine comic book. It's more worth your time. I truly recommend Old Man Logan. It's fucked up, but it is a good fucking read.
Kadawfi.
All right, considering the audience this was for, people who may not really be familiar with Wolverine, I think it's a good stepping stone to get you maybe to be curious. Because especially, again, they showed Omega Red, they showed Cyclops, and it's like, you know, who are these people? If you know nothing about X-Men or Marvel or Wolverine, or nothing about them, and you walk into this show, it makes you more curious about the rest of the story going on behind Wolverine. Maybe this show isn't the best show ever, but if it's your first experience ever with Wolverine, this is pretty cool. Like a dude with metal claws come out of his hand, Watersman. Kaneko Man did it first. If
We're gonna fact check that one.
fact check me if you
Crush.
want. Hey,
Crush.
hold on.
Wait, someone put
A fighter with metal claws in anime. The very first one to show up is Watersman.
How do you spell that?
Warsman.
Warsman.
Whereas Wolverine was released in what was it, Steve?
Like 74,
75, 73, some shit like that.
First
You
appearance.
really got it?
We're gonna beat Kadawfi on this one day with his fucking first appearance. Kaneko Man did it first.
Hey, he doesn't show up before Wolverine. He's a full 4-year. He's actually a homage to Wolverine. Warsman is. So the very first anime to give an homage to Wolverine would be Kaneko Man with Warsman.
70. So they started the whole manga started in 79 and ended in 87. So I'm just going to go off that. Wolverine's first appearance was in a Hulk comic, and that was 1974.
Matt.
Kaneko Man, in fact, did not do it first. I'm satisfied.
Matt.
I
did
wasn't
do it
listening
first.
to the whole thing, but I am satisfied with the
How do you-
outcome.
Wait. How are you? You literally just stated what I stated and then told me I was wrong.
No. Well, yes, but no.
Like
He said
it's
manga.
anime or manga.
Anime or manga and comic books, Wolverine was first.
Wolverine
In
was
anime, it was Kaneko Man.
And
with
Warsman is the first anime character to present homage to Wolverine, is what I'm saying. Like,
All right.
I'm
keep
gonna
that in
be
edit so you can hear Matt talk out the side of his goddamn neck.
Well, Crush can talk out the side of his neck about Kaneko Man as much as he wants.
There ain't no outside the neck. This is
All right.
fact.
You know, we're talking about Wolverine. I'll always call him Logan in this one. Crush is right.
That was Wolverine.
If
That
it
was
was-
Jimmy.
If it was first time watcher of anything Wolverine related. It's decent.
Not a bad show. It fits
If
in with
you've seen Wolverine, if you know who this man is, don't even have your time.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't fucking do it.
like if you're already aware of Wolverine, this is like baby's first Wolverine. Is what this is like playing kid mode Wolverine.
I'm not saying that I wouldn't have not watched it, but I probably won't watch it again. It's better than High Card, but it's better than Second Time.
Summon to a world for a second time.
Time,
Summon to another world for a second time.
but probably won't watch it again. Kadawfi?
It's kind of like if you go through my video game collection, it's in my collection, but there's a few games where it was like, it was alright. If you go through the place, like, hey, this was good, this was good, this was good, this one's alright, I put it to the left. It was kind of like that. Like, it was like, I have all these good Wolverine things and anime things, and I finally smashed it together, and this shit was alright. It was okay.
But I do want to say this. Thank you, Madhouse, and thank you, Marvel, for at least attempting to bring a Japanese side to those four heroes. Iron Man, X-Men, Wolverine, and Blade. I am going to watch the other three, see if maybe they're a little bit better. But if they aren't...
Pudgy-faced Iron Man.
He is pudgy-faced.
When you get the Blade, holla at me.
I will.
I'm down for Blade.
But all I got to say is thank you, Madhouse, and thank you, Marvel Studios, for at least attempting to try and make a good anime.
Yeah, do it again.
But you need a mulligan for this one, or you fucking shanked the shot.
Do Moon Knight.
Thank you all for listening. Comment, subscribe. Please comment, because we will read anything on this damn show. Just not if it's fucking an ad or you calling us gay. This has been the Fighting Couch Potatoes. I'm Liquid Gold Steve, and good night.
Don't forget to check us out on Spotify, Facebook, Instagram, at The Fighting Couch Potatoes, and of course at YouTube. Y'all have a good night.